for me. But I love the fact that it really is, excuse me, one of the indicators for motive. I think if you know what motive is in a person, in their chart, you really have a very good idea of who that person is. I mean, that's what drives them. And drive and motive are really the sort of things that dictate the way the person acts.
You're absolutely right. And, you know, with you, your motive, your Mars is right there in the third house natally, and so is mine, actually. So our motives are very clear. We're all about teaching the world and communicating to the world what we know, and we'll do it assertively. We'll do it aggressively. That's
right. It's all about, I think it's all about communication. It really has been, it's always been a strong component of my chart, which is probably why I'm a writer and an artist and a radio host. It certainly adds up there as to why I am what I am, and you are the same. It's very much the case as to happen. Now, what are some of the other things that are significant that you bring to people when you do the solar return? What are some of the other things that are really big, important moments that you can pick up?
Okay, well, you can you can follow the solar return. You can follow the transit. Okay, around the solar return. If you remember.
Okay, we've got another guest on the other line. Let's get her on while we can. How's that?
Fantastic.
Vicki is calling from New York. Go ahead, Vicki. What's your question?
Hi. Let's see. Could you please tell me in my, I guess, chart what you see for me as far as the new year goes?
Okay.
What's your birth information, Vicki?
It's May 7th, 5760, 1960. I have laryngitis, but I had to call.
Okay.
1960?
Yeah. So May 7th, 1960, and what time?
12:33 p.m.
12:33 p.m. In what city, Vicki?
In Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn, New York. Okay. Good spot to be. Okay, give us a few seconds. We'll work that out in the meantime, and we'll let Maria go ahead and pull that chart up while I continue to talk about this. So now you are going into a time of your life where you want to get some clarity as to what your solar return will bring. Now, you understand the value of the solar return. It's different than what you might find in the newspapers. It's different than what you might find in a lot of astrology. It gives you insight into the coming year, and it really is a time for you to sort of reach out and sort of reinvent yourself, celebrate where you are in your life, and see what the future holds.
Mm-hmm. Vicki, where were you at your last solar return?
You know, I just tuned in. I'm not sure when the last solar return was.
That was right around your last birthday.
Where was I?
Where were you? Yeah, about May 7th.
Oh, wow. I was just finishing my first year of graduate school to become a social worker, and it was proceeding when I filed for divorce.
Interesting.
I didn't get what state and city you were in.
Oh, I was here in Long Island, in New York.
You were in Long Island. What town? Where in Long Island?
In Manhasset.
In Manhasset, right. That's what I needed to know, because this now casts your solar return chart, so that's why the location is so important. So you were in Manhasset.
Correct.
And your solar return indicates a very big focus on your values. And what an interesting thing, because you are a Taurus. So your whole life is all about learning the proper values and how to assimilate that into your energy. And there's a big focus on money for you this year. So did you say you were filing for divorce?
Yes. In fact, I already filed, and I'm hoping it comes through soon.
Okay, so you're hoping that the divorce will be finalized.
Yes, and money is it is a big issue right now, so you're right.
Okay, well, here's the good news. You have very good prospects with your solar return chart for money. So I'm assuming that you're waiting for settlement, correct?
Correct.
Okay. You've got the sun, which is the most important planet in the solar return chart, in your second house of income and values and self-worth for the entire year. And you have Venus right next to it. Venus.
That's a great placement.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Venus in your solar return chart, it rules the 8th house. Okay, so this is important because the 8th house is your husband's money. It's other people's money. And it's settlements. And this shows me it's a very close conjunction. Well, not that close. It's a few degrees, but it's still important. It's Venus conjunct the sun. And being that your 8th house is ruled by Venus, I am very confident that you're going to get a beautiful settlement. And
good.
The other wonderful thing is that your solar return chart has that Venus as part of a grand trine. There's not one, negative aspects to that Venus, which is important to know because your focus is on money this year. If Venus
especially in that second house, right?
Yeah. Oh, she's got Venus trining Pluto. She's got Venus trining Saturn. She can't go wrong.
Good.
That's good. You must. I think what it points out, from what I'm picking up on, is that it shows that you were fairly responsible through this marriage, and that the reward for your responsibility and your hard work and your dedication will come to fruition. Does that seem like it makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I proceeded with confidence, knowing I was doing the right thing, and I just kept on praying and having faith because I said, I basically have done everything, and I've played fairly from day one, and I was just hoping for the best.
Yeah. So the reward of your hard work and your play and your sort of diligence and loyalty, I think, will pan out. To be honest,
and it was so hard. Yeah, it was so hard going to school at the same time and with the kids.
Oh, I can imagine. That's a very difficult challenge. I've done that myself, and I know that how hard that is. And I think that the time that you put into that will bear itself out, because it really is about, you've done some really strong, what I would call Saturn work. Being responsible, being sort of diligent and responsible with regard to the marriage and trying to make it work. I know that as a Taurus, you tend to be very loyal. You want things to work. You tend to make your decisions very slowly, and so you probably have given it every shake you possibly can. And this is the best you can do.
Yes. All right, good. So it sounds like it'll be a good year. How about as far as work goes, or as far as professional?
Okay, now did you graduate from college yet?
Well, no, I will not graduate for about another year and a half.
Okay, so right now whatever work that you're doing is just temporary.
Well, I'm working at an internship for school.
Okay. I am showing, just based on your solar return chart, feeling restricted in work. And this is your daily grind, your daily work, okay?
Right.
I'm showing, as far as your career direction, a powerful transformation. There's a difference between your daily work and between your life direction and your career. Now, I see that you're basically just doing what you have to do at the moment when it comes to work. So you're feeling that crunch. It's not exactly where you want to be. That energy will stay for the year. However, because you are paying your dues right now,
I'm what right now?
This is going to spill over into your life direction, where you'll feel that powerful change in your life direction. There's a lot of fluctuation happening right now with your learning. You've got the moon in your third house for the solar return, and earlier in the program I explained that the moon is where you will be going through changes for the next year.
So where do you see the biggest changes?
Right, and I'm not sure if you're either changing schools or taking new classes, or if it's just that the whole change of going to school has been a lot on you emotionally, but you're learning at a very rapid pace right now. You've got Mercury, the planet of communication and learning, right in that third house next to the moon for the solar return year. So trust that everything that you're learning now is going to be for your own good and for your higher purpose. It's just that the rewards are not immediate. Okay, I do see the feeling of limitation, but realize that you do the work. When we're talking about Saturn, you just do the work, and you're someone who has a lot of determination and persistence. So there's no doubt in my mind that you'll just do what you have to do. Okay?
Yeah, that's very much of a Taurus trait. Is sort of that steadfast, hard, slow, plodding work. Very diligent, very loyal, very responsible. You're slow to make changes, and so when you do make a change, you really have thought it over very clearly. And what we do with astrology is we always want to see more than one. I like to see 2 to 3 transit aspects in order to come up with a conclusion. And the fact that you've got 3 or 4 really significant ones, I think, is going to be is going to work very well in your favor. I would actually love to hear how things turn out with you if you ever get the opportunity to call back sometime.
Oh, I would love that.
It did come true. I think it's pretty remarkable, the sort of thing that you have going on.
Wow. Okay. I sort of felt it in my gut. That's why I wanted to call, because
be optimistic. It looks like your hard work is going to be rewarded. So
thank you. Thank you very, very much.
Thanks very much for calling, Vicki. I appreciate it. And hopefully things turn out well. And if they do, give us a call back.
I sure will. Bye-bye.
Okay, that's great. It's interesting how she's got quite a powerful chart going on then.
She really does. Yeah, I mean, there's so much more to talk about her natal chart that we couldn't address, but I didn't want to. I wanted to focus on the solar return just to amplify, show what the power is in the solar return chart.